limestone is 380, perhaps 400 million years old, and it was formed right along the east coast of Australia. There's a shallow sea, and these were little layers of rock that built up over time. And when the Great Dividing Range was formed, the big mountain range, kids, there's a lot of folding and uplift. We call that mountain building. When the mountain building process took place, all these rocks got drawn up with it. And they've been dragged out of the sea up to here. We're about 200 metres above sea level. Okay? So I will show you lots of little seashell fossils and corals and everything a little bit further on, which demonstrates that. Okay, because limestone though is made of calcium carbonate, when it mixes with water and dissolved carbon dioxide, it creates carbonic acid. That's a very weak acid, which if it goes down into if the water sits in, or the rock sits in water for tens of thousands of years, it'll actually dissolve the rock. And that's what's happened here. Around about 5 million years ago, there was a bit of a crack through here, and the water table built up, and this was the upper level of that water table, and the rock was all saturated, just gradually dissolved away. Okay? So the rock's 400 million years old, but the cave is only 5 million years old. Okay. Now all the formations, you can see some soda straws, some stalactites, columns, flowstones, and a lot of other things. They're even better at the next stop, so we'll talk about them at the next stop. Okay, I just have to wait for the other group to move on a little bit, because what I'd like to do here, if you're interested, I'd just like to turn the lights off just for a few seconds so you can see how dark it is. Remember I said we're not allowed to touch? Now, I'll show you why. See here, sparkle, 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 dull.
Oh, look at this one.
That's because when we have a group of 30, people come up and people push up, so they put their hand out to protect themselves, and that is the oil that comes out of your skin. So it just shows how much the oils in your skin can... Yeah. So that's, if that wasn't full of oil, that was just as sparkly as that. 100 years, so that's what's happened in 100 years, but that's why we have that rule. Stalactite. Anything on the floor is a stalagmite. And when a stalactite joins up with stalagmite, we call that a column or a pillar. Everything is made of calcite. Remember that one I passed around? Yep. Okay. Now, they're all formed by water flowing or water dripping. So I'll start with water flowing. For a couple of million years, that stream's been flowing through here. There must have been a little ledge there, and as it came over, little microscopic particles of calcite which just clung on and built up and built up and built up. And those pools back there, we call them brimstone pools. When the stream was coming through there, if it was coming through too quickly, nothing would form. If it comes through really slowly, or if it's still like it is today, it's not actually flowing, the water's just sitting there. And what it'll do, it'll start releasing the dissolved carbon dioxide, and little crystals will form on top. You might have seen a couple of little floaty bits there as you came past before. They are what we call calcite rafts. They'll just float around, they'll cling onto the lip or the edge or the rim. That's what we call them rimstone pools or perimeter pools. So they're really nice. Not many caves have them. We've got some fantastic ones just there. Okay, but most of the things in this cave, in fact in just about any limestone cave, rain falls outside, it comes down through all the rock, it'll pick up dissolved carbon dioxide. As it comes through into here, it comes in through a little crack like that, or maybe just the more porous sections of the rock like there, over there, and down there. Now when it comes through, it'll form a little droplet. Oops, my torch is going flat, it's been going all day. Okay, so when it falls, the drip will fall down there and the stalagmite builds up. Now they don't all develop at the same age, so when people talk about the age, there's a fair bit of guesswork. That one is growing quicker than that one. I think you'd all see how that's working. Now, okay, where it drips from, it just leaves a little ring of calcite. And that little ring of calcite, if it continues to drip at exactly the same place, that will grow into a straw. So they're actually hollow. The water comes down the middle. Eventually that will block up, and then the water will come down the outside, and that's when you get those other different shapes like that and that, and so on. Now, we ask people not to touch them because they grow, on average, 1 centimetre 100 years. Some will be quicker, some will be slower, but that's pretty close to most. So that little one up there, that'll be a couple hundred years. It's about 2 centimetres. What's that? 15 centimetres, is it? Okay, roughly 1,500 years. So these are many thousands of years. And see those 2 stalagmites there? You might just have to move around. There's a couple of stalagmites there. See the one higher up the slope? We've got one smaller than that back in the Ranger's office. Ours was sent down to Melbourne a few years ago. Ours was cut up, put under a microscope. Ours was dated at 53,000 years. So I'd say that's about 70,000. Those middle ones, 100, 150,000 years old. Those ones, many hundreds of thousands of years old. Yeah. Some could be 500,000. We're convinced there would be some 500,000 and quite likely over 1 million years old. So very, very old. Yeah. Just while they're coming through, we've got soda straws, the icicle shaped, flute shaped, onion shaped, and we've got different colours. They're mainly white, sometimes they're that peachy colour. When they're reddish brown like that one over there, that means we've got iron oxide. A little bit further you'll see some grey ones, that means we've got manganese. Okay, I won't take questions now, I just want to get ahead of
Oh, the video can. Video can.
Yes, but the main reason for taking them away was because they just went good fake, but they wanted to be natural. See, lots of other caves don't have any colour, it's all one colour.
You see the video?
Here, because they're younger caves, we've still got lots of different session. If you want to fire some questions at me, go ahead. So, anyone got any questions? Yes.
I've got 2. Who mined this cave and why did the rocks not go out of shape because it's so old?
Good questions. The first one. Frank Moon discovered the other cave first, the fairy cave, and then he and 2 other men found this one. We don't have to worry about people mining it because we've got no metals or minerals or gemstones of any real value. So it's more valuable in its natural state. This place is 20 kilometres away here. He was actually looking for a cave like this to show people. He wasn't looking for metal. Yes, so each climate change, you have different vegetation and different plants release different chemicals. So as they're following the contours, they'll pick up different, they'll deposit different sorts of what we call fulvic acids in those bands of colour. Okay, any questions, please? Yes.
How did it form all like
Tough question. Because some are wavy like that, some are smooth like that, and it's all to do with the dripping. But to be honest with you, I don't really know, because just the way nature does things. Nature doesn't always do things exactly the same. Like you might be able to see over the back there, anyway. Like, why do some look like shark fins and others look like bacon? You know? I just don't know. I can tell you they're very old. I can tell you they're also very fragile. They're very thin. See up there? You can just about see through them. It's just like crepe paper or tissue paper. Yeah, that's how thin they are. They're often the first things that break. All right. I've heard that called a dragon's head, a big bullfrog, but I like the cupcake. Got the icing on top, chocolate underneath. Even got some candles on top with a little cherry. Up there you may be able to make out an elephant's head. Not everyone can see that.
Yes, the trunk.
But up here, you'll all get this one. This is upside down New York City. And look how kids were in the jaws of a crocodile. That's its top jaw. Teeth, snout or nose, more teeth. Okay, the other group's catching up. Now I need some leaders because I have to be last. I've got